Miss? Oh, miss. Hello? Miss? Hey, folks. Bar Dad here. Welcome to another episode of Adulting at the Bar. Today, we're going to find out how not to piss off your bartender. So pull up a chair and we'll talk about it.
It's the Bar Dad.
All right, folks. So I have a special guest with me today, a real-life bartender. Ladies and gentlemen, Lauren, welcome.
Hi, thank you.
Oh, great
Nice
to have
be
you.
here.
So before we begin talking about how not to piss you off, let's do a shot. What do you think?
I like that idea.
All right.
Okay.
Cheers.
Wait,
Got it right hand. There we go.
there you go.
Did you see that? Eye contact. That was fantastic. Let's do that again. Click.
Yeah.
Picklebacks. Watch that episode. So Lauren, really appreciate you coming today to be in this episode. We had a lot of questions from the Bar Dad audience about being at a bar, right? How do I get the bartender's attention? How do I tip? How do I not piss off the bartender? How do I get free drinks type of thing, right? So, I figured, well, let's have an episode where we bring a real life bartender. I gotta back up. Get a real life. Just get a real life. Just everybody, just get a real life. No, I really appreciate you coming by because our Bar Dad audience has asked questions about etiquette at a bar, how to tip, how to get the bartender's attention, how to get free drinks. A couple people asked about that, right? And so, what better way to invite a real life bartender here to help and answer some of those questions?
Okay.
So you work at a
sports bar.
sports bar.
Yeah.
And how long have you been there, give or take?
About 6 years.
And what do you find most enjoyable about tending bar?
I love getting to meet new people. The clientele, we've got a very wide array of people that come in, so it's great to just kind of meet everybody from different walks of life, like the conversations you have, the different people that you meet, and just people enjoy going to the bar and drinking.
Is it true that you like a psychiatrist sometimes
Oh
and you
my
have
God,
to
yeah.
talk people off the ledge?
Yes,
Really?
absolutely.
We don't want to have you share any stories on camera.
I have a great story.
You have a great story.
I had 3 women come into my bar the other day, and they were all dating the same guy.
And they knew that?
Yeah.
So
they found out that day, and they ended up at my bar.
Did they all become tight friends
Oh
after?
yeah, they were great friends afterward.
What a jerk.
Yes.
That is a great story. And bartenders don't judge.
No,
Outwardly.
maybe sometimes.
Inwardly, they might do it all the time, but not outwardly. Are you judging me right now?
No.
Okay, good.
I would never.
All right, so let's get into the nitty gritty. So let's talk about first and foremost, just like the opening part of today's episode. You're in a busy bar.
Okay.
All right, maybe one bartender's on duty, maybe 2, but it's a long, bar or U-shaped bar. How does somebody get your attention? You know how you kind of have to work. Now this is pre-COVID, right? You have to kind of work your way through the thing, and you get like an arm in there. Now I'm 6'6", and I can usually be seen over people at the bar, but somebody that's this height, So how does one get your attention?
Honestly, at first, if you just flag me down, wave me down, whatever, then you'll grab my attention. And then after I've helped you already, if you're personable, if you try to make conversation with me, if you are an easy customer, if you're nice, if you know my name, if you just say, "Hey, Lauren," I will definitely come back to you.
Oh, okay. So when somebody makes an effort to develop that real bartender patron relationship, that goes a long way.
It really does.
So you kind of radar that person then?
Yeah.
Always make sure the drink levels are appropriate?
Yep. And if you're a regular as well. If you're a regular, then we always remember your drinks. We always know whenever you come, we'll have your drink ready for you. So that helps as well.
Okay. So, and I know sometimes the bartenders, they'll give you a little, one of those things. So you have to watch for that acknowledgement, right? From the bartender. What wouldn't get your attention?
If you are waving money, I work at a sports bar, so I'm a little bit more slow paced than a club. But if you're waving money at me, that's not going to get my attention. That's probably going to make me not really jump to come to you and help you.
So stow the wad is what they're
Yes.
saying, right? Or okay. Now, like people that and somebody will tap it and they'll go like this with the credit card. Did that?
That
pisses you off.
annoys
That
me.
annoys you,
Yes,
okay.
because then I feel like you're being impatient. If you're sitting there tapping, then it's like you're like, okay, what is taking so long?
I'm gonna put
And
this
I
away.
really-
Don't be silently judging me. When you show up to the person and you say, "Hi, I'm Lauren. What can I get you?" What really burns your rhubarb?
I really want you to be ready. If I'm really busy, then I would like for you to be ready and like know what you want to order. But if you're not ready, then I'm probably just gonna walk away and go help the next person that is ready, and they know what they want to order. And yeah,
It's like, is there? I mean, obviously, you're as a bartender, you're kind of an expert at drinks, right? And you know a bunch of stuff like back here.
yeah,
And there's opportunities for people to ask you your opinion, but not when it's
Oh, yeah.
like major busy and things like that. Because you guys slam.
yeah.
Right.
We do. We have a wrapped bar, so normally we have 2 rows of people that are wanting to get drinks. I mean, if you want my opinion, then I'll give you my opinion. But if you don't like what my opinion is, have a backup. That way you're ready to order. That way I'm ready to take your order, and that way I'm ready to make you a drink. And that way it's quick. That way I don't have to sit there and say, oh, well, okay, well, this one's good, that one's good. Oh, what do you like? That's,
Huh?
just
All right,
make it
you're
quick.
writing this stuff down. This is important, right? Because you don't want to look like an idiot. We're all about adulting at the bar, right? So
Yes.
you know the people that are like not adults and the people that are adults,
Oh,
right?
yeah, of course.
And the people that are adults probably tip more at the bar.
Oh, my gosh, for sure.
Okay,
For sure.
so that's important. What else pisses you off at a bar?
I forgot what else pisses me off. Whenever people ask me for a strong pour, that's probably the thing that irks my nerves the most. If you say, "Oh, can I have a Jameson on the rocks?" Make it a strong pour. Like, no, I'm not going to make it a strong pour.
So
I'm not going to under pour you, but I'm not going to make it a strong pour.
So I know some plate will pour the jigger and then they'll kind of
Yeah.
just do one of those things.
Yeah.
That is that what you're talking about as a strong pour? There's a little bit more than this, or
That is a normal pour
That's
for
a-
me.
okay.
I mean, you always, and then a little bit more afterwards.
It looks good.
But-
It looks
It
good.
does,
It's not
exactly.
a lot, but it looks good,
And I
right?
think that a lot of places, whenever they do that extra, whenever they pour the jigger over and then they keep pouring, I think that they under pour the jigger a little bit. That way you think
Well,
that you're getting more, but you're not actually.
I will
getting
tell
more.
you, I am disappointed in a bartender
Uh-huh.
when they measure it and then just do this and they put it down.
Oh, I agree with you completely.
You know, if it's all theatrics of the bar, I'm okay with it because it's magical.
Yeah.
When they pour it and then they go a little bit over
Yeah.
like that, I'm like,
So at
they
my
set
bar,
me up, you know.
Yeah, of course, of course. At my bar, we're supposed to use those whenever we make drinks for tables. But whenever we pour for guests at our bar, you have a count. Whenever you pour,
1,
you
2,
do a
3,
count.
right?
So we go bubble 2, 3, 4, and that's 1 ounce. And then you go to 8 or however many. But a 4 count is 1 ounce.
You know, do like 1,
We
2.
have a. Oh no, are you one of those, Yogi?
I am not one of those
Give me
people.
a strong pour.
What else pisses you off?
Coming in right before last call. If you come in right before last call, don't expect to get a whole 2 rounds of shots and a whole bucket of beer and 3 doubles. I'm not going to give it to you.
Because you're already starting to kind of close out the
Yeah,
bar
exactly.
at that time, right?
Yeah.
And last call has already been called theoretically, right?
Yeah, pretty much.
Pretty much.
I mean, I'll serve you if it's 10 minutes before last call, but I
you
mean,
will-
I want you to be
will
ready.
very secretly
and
think they suck.
I really will.
Yeah.
You definitely suck if you come in 10 minutes before last call.
Can you restate that again very
You
clearly
suck.
for the audience?
You're horrible. And you know, I don't mind if you come in 10 minutes before last call. You order everything that you want, your food, your drinks, and if you're out of there by, we close at 12 o'clock right now. So if you're out of there by 12 o'clock, I don't mind.
And they tip you one.
Yeah. I mean, and you don't even have to tip me extravagantly. If you tip me 20% and you're out of there, I'm perfectly fine with that. Just get out of my bar.
Well, okay, let's segue. Queen of segues. So, tipping. That was a big question that people have.
Of course.
What amount makes you cool and adult, and what amount makes you a dick at the bar?
20% definitely makes me happy. If you have like a $2 check, then of course, like, don't tip me like 20 cents on it, but like 20% is good. Now there are different rules for whatever bars you go to. Like I work at a sports bar, so like I am a restaurant and a sports bar. So the etiquette for tipping at my bar is 20%. But if you're at like a club or like a downtown bar where it's like really busy, then it's typically $1 per drink.
Okay, so sports bars where there's like usually food and things involved, 20% is across the board because you're also a server too.
Exactly.
Right. Okay. And in a club where you're all like, right? So the general rule of thumb is this to next $1 you live on.
Exactly.
On the okay.
Yeah.
Is there? And I had a great point, and I totally forgot what it was. You know, when we were doing kind of a prep for the show tonight, you mentioned something to me that I thought was quite interesting. That you know, good tips are great.
Yeah. But
you can tip too much.
Oh yeah, for sure.
What does that look like? And what does that mean to you?
So for me, like 20% is a great tip, and like $20 on a $100 check is a great tip. That's 20%, you know. But like I have people that will come in and tip me $100 on a $50 check, and that makes me very uncomfortable. Or I have a guy that will come in and tip me $200 on a $100 check, and that makes me uncomfortable because at that point you're tipping 200%. You know, you're tipping double what your bill is, and that's just...
It opens up a whole list of questions.
It's strange.
Okay, I get that. So. And
then whenever you ask me for my phone number and you tip me $200 on a $100 check, it makes me very uncomfortable, and I'm gonna tell you no still, but it makes me a little bit more uncomfortable.
Sure.
So there's a thing going around social media right now, tip the bill, and like a lot of people are doing that. And
is that to help the hospitality and
see, I don't exactly know what the reasoning behind it is, but I mean, that makes me feel a little bit more comfortable because they write tip the bill. You know what I mean? It's not some guy that's just trying to get me
with
or
the
get
shirt
my
unbuttoned down here and a couple of gold chains.
Exactly.
And, okay.
Exactly.
So let me ask you a question about tipping too, because I've always wondered. Now, some bars, let's say there's 2 or 3 bartenders.
Okay.
Is it always a communal tip jar, or do you tip the individual?
Okay, so this is actually an interesting point. So at my bar, we split tips. So if I'm there for an hour by myself, I keep whatever I made that hour, and then whatever me and the other bartender work together, we split that evenly.
Okay.
But the other day, I went to a different bar, and the girl told me that they get all the tips at the end of the night, and they divide it based on how many hours you work. So they are not communal splitting. She's getting whatever it comes out to based on however many hours she works. Something that annoys me is like we have 2 shifts. So we have a morning shift and then an evening shift. And if you come in at 11 o'clock in the morning and you're there until 5 o'clock whenever the second bartender comes on.
Remember, drink responsibly.
Yes. You should close out with that first bartender, and then because that person helped you all morning.
Right.
So if you want to open up another tab, open up the second tab with that second bartender, but don't transfer your tab.
Do they know that? I mean, do the patrons know that, or is that something you would go and say, "Hey, I'm closing out. Lauren is taking over."
I am always the second bartender. I always work at night, so I always go up to the first bartender's guests and say, "Hey, this person's about to go. I'm about to take over. Can I get you to close out with them?" Because it's not fair for me to take the tip money away from that person who's done all the work for that patron whenever I've done nothing for them. So for me, it's important, and I know that for the first bartender it is as well, but a lot of people that come to the bar, they don't understand that. So it is important to close out.
That's good to know. That's good to know.
Yeah.
So, Lauren, here's a big question, right? Because can you spot a rube like 5 yards away coming into your bar that you know this person's not a quote adult at the bar and will probably do some immature things or they're inexperienced? Is there dead giveaways to that?
I mean, honestly,
I hope you're always honest with me.
I mean, it goes back to what we said earlier with me judging you. I will judge you based on what drinks you order, and if you order something
like Bush.
Okay. If you come in and you have no idea what you want to order and you say, "Oh, well, I don't know, maybe let me get this or maybe let me get that," then I'm probably going to think that you're an amateur and that you don't know what you're doing. You don't know etiquette at the bar.
Well, that's good. Can I stop you there for a second? Because one of the things we talked about in one of our earlier episodes is we encourage them to try different kinds, right? Because instead of coming, "I'll take a whiskey and Coke," If you come up and say, hey, I'll take a Makers and Coke.
Oh yeah.
When you order something by name, that automatically kind of elevates your position at the bar,
for
right?
sure. Yeah. Oh, for sure.
Okay.
If you order something by name, then I'm going to assume that you know what you're doing, what you want, like that you've done this before. And
Okay.
It's.
Did you copy that? See, I tell you good stuff. Backed up right there.
It's a very good tip.
You asked for that the first time. Hey, put a strong pour in it.
Yeah.
You're not going to be coming around their part of the area.
I'm not. Absolutely.
And a lot of times, bartenders are literally they're judged. You're like skill checked all the time until you fill up the little things. And
every time that I go in, I get checked.
Every time.
Yeah, every single shift that we work, we get checked.
Wow.
Yeah.
Because it's theft.
It is.
It's theft. Now, if you drink at my bar, I give good pours.
Can I come and drink at your bar?
Always. My bar is always open. You know that. Lauren, thank you so much. And I consider myself, I tell people I'm not an expert, I'm just a dad, and I've been in a few bars in my life, and I learned stuff, and this is great. So thank you for teaching me, and I'm hoping that the audience out there gained a lot of this experience from you as well. So thank you very much. Hey, folks out there in Bar Dad world, please find us, follow us on Instagram, like, subscribe, and comment. In YouTube, we want you, please. And also, if you have questions for the Bar Dad, send it to thebardad@gmail.com. Till next time, folks, keep your scotch close and your bartenders closer. Ciao.
It's the Bar Dad.